Milk Producers Organization CEO Fanny Ferreira joins us for more on this vaccination drive. Mr. Ferreira, thank you for your time and for joining us this evening. What impact does foot and mouth disease have on our country's milk production as well as supply in South Africa?
Yes, good evening, and thank you for having me. I think as milk producers, we're actually fortunate to be able to report that the outcome of foot and mouth hasn't been that severe on milk production. We have actually thought that it would be more severe, but we've seen in the last couple of months that the effect of it wasn't that bad, although the milk producers themselves are affected quite heavily. It is quite well known that the dairy animals in South Africa are affected extremely bad by foot and mouth disease. But we're glad to report that we haven't lost that amount of milk, although it is sweeping right through the country and through all our producers. We are happy that we're still able to produce a lot of milk.
And what do you contribute the effects of this not being so bad on the production of milk?
Ma'am, I think the only factor regarding that is the fact that if we could take KwaZulu-Natal as an example, the foot and mouth disease has been moving from region to region, and it's not something that affects, say, for all 220 of our producers at once. You know, if it moves through a region, it usually affects farmer by farmer, and these farmers are affected for a period of up 6 to 8 weeks, and then the animal starts to recover. And I think that's the only reason, you know, it's the fact that not all our farmers are affected at once, but it's like typically like a veld fire spreading through a region, and it burns from area to area, and that's basically also the effect that it's got on our industry.
So to contain this veld fire, how critical do you find these vaccinations to be in safeguarding the livelihoods, especially of dairy farmers?
Vaccination is absolutely critical. At this stage, it's almost the only weapon that we have. Biosecurity is something that we do practice on a very high level, but unfortunately that alone can't always contain the disease. So having vaccine and availability of vaccines is absolutely critical. We have seen up to now that 2.5 million doses of vaccine have come into the country, and we were fortunate to vaccinate about 600,000 of the South African dairy herd. But we still have about 550,000 dairy animals that need to be vaccinated. And we hope with the vaccine that the ministers also now announced that came into the country over the weekend, that we will be able to vaccinate the remaining dairy animals in South Africa as fast as possible, and that we will be able on that matter then also to protect our dairy herd.
You make mention of biosecurity. Do you think enough is being done to educate farmers about biosecurity practices in the country?
Ma'am, yes, definitely enough, especially in the dairy sector. I can assure you every dairy farmer knows exactly what biosecurity is, what the impact of the disease is if you are not practicing your biosecurity measures up to the highest standard. So we don't really see that any farmers are not obeying regarding that. Even our fellow beef farmers and game farmers, we see right through the country that all of them are really keeping up biosecurity at a very high level. We also, wherever is necessary, will educate farmers regarding that. But mostly it's actually even not necessary. They exactly know what to do.
You touched on the availability of vaccines. We heard in that clip earlier on the Minister of Agriculture saying that they're working towards an 80% vaccination by this December. And he also mentioned the various countries in which they're importing the vaccines from. How important is it for us to start working towards producing some of these vaccines locally, and how will this local production benefit, especially for the dairy and livestock industries, in terms of reliability and cost?
Yes, I think producing vaccines in South Africa is critically. We've seen in the past that South Africa was self-sustainable regarding the production of vaccine, but unfortunately, it isn't the case anymore. And currently, we are importing vaccines from Argentina and from Turkey. And as we heard, the minister said that two big consignments are expected, one of 5 million and 6 million. And that will definitely aid in the fact, that we have to vaccinate about 80% of our national herd up to December. We've got about 28. We'll definitely need 28 million doses of vaccine because all these animals have to be vaccinated twice then before December. And there is 14 million, expected 14 million animals in South Africa. But yes, it's critical that the vaccine production in South Africa is definitely ramped up again, and that we in the future can look forward to produce all our vaccines on local ground again.
And the potential economic benefits of successfully eradicating FMD, especially for export markets and just also for the locally produced foods, what would you say are the low-hanging fruits there?
Ma'am, yes, if I can explain a bit, regarding the economical impact on a dairy farm is actually extremely severe. We're looking at about 6,000 rand per dairy animal that can be lost within the first 40 to 45 days. And if we look at a typical dairy farm in South Africa these days, milking 1,000 cows, you're looking at losing about 6 million rand within that first 45 days. And that is made up out of veterinary cost, veterinary medicine, the cost of veterinarians themselves, and then a loss in production of milk, because one of the factors of FMD in a dairy animal is the milk immediately are tested for very high somatic cell counts because of the mastitis. And then for a period, a lot of milk has been lost, and should be thrown away. That cannot be sold and be used until the milk can recover and the somatic cell count can get back to normal levels. Then only the milk can be sold again in the normal market. So it is severe, and we even see that now in our beef animals of our neighbors, that the effect of FMD even in them is also severe. And what we're talking about now is only the direct cost and what we're experiencing right now on the farms. But I think the biggest cost is going to come in the future. We also see that we're losing a lot of calves between the age of 0 to 3 months. It's one of the factors of FMDs. Those calves just suddenly die of heart attacks. We lose a lot of our grown animals as a result of this foot and mouth. And the impact of that will only be coming into effect in the next year and maybe in up to 2 years.
And that really is going to be quite a significant cost on many of those farmers in the interim. Just to close it off, Fanny, what would you say beyond vaccination are the other strategies that perhaps government can look into to ensure long-term control and a complete eradication of FMD?
Ma'am, I think the big factor regarding that would definitely be the inclusion of the private sector. Us as organizations, the Red Meat Producers Organization, the Milk Producers Organization, and all producers organizations that can contribute and can help towards eradicating this disease. I think that's one of the critical factors, and we are glad to say that in the last couple of months, government has allowed us to also come to the table and also to help fight this disease, and we're very glad about that. And we hope that this can actually even be brought even wider, and the impact that the ability of the private sector can have in eradicating this disease, I think is really understated. And we really hope that government will not see that as a threat, but see that as a helpful tool and that all private sector institutions, especially on agriculture side, would be allowed to help government in eradicating this disease.
It certainly will be a multi-stakeholder effort that needs to be taken there. Fanny Ferreira, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this evening. That's the CEO of the Milk Producers Organization, speaking to us there about that vaccination drive that we are currently seeing, with the minister saying that they're working towards an 80% vaccination of the national herd by December of this year.